Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, my name is Zenzi Sewa, and welcome to my podcast, Spiritual. It's a podcast, as you know. It's Infinity, Spiritual Infinity. And today, my guest is Banya Lim, very nice young lady, who is in Sedona, Arizona. And as you know, I'm in London. And Banya is a multi-generational intuitive and acupuncturist and a coach. So she has many different things to do, but she's going to explain to you, as usual, her journey in where she probably as a child, whatever, how she came into her spiritual genre and what led her there. So without much ado, Banya, hello.
Hi, how are you, Genzi?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's early
Great.
morning here.
Yes. Now, what is the time where you are?
It's a 7 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
It's 7 a.m. in Arizona, Sedona, and here in London, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So quite a big time difference. So
Yeah.
you had to get up early. All right. And here in London, our clocks went forward. So I think had it been like a month or two ago, it would have been 8 a.m. But because our clocks went forward, you had to go backward. So without much ado, Banya, welcome to the program. Welcome to my podcast. And I'm looking forward to your journey and how you connected your spirituality. So please go ahead.
Thank you. By the way, Arizona is the only place, I think one of the only places we don't change time.
You're so lucky.
Yes.
Come October, we put the clocks back again.
Yeah.
So
We don't do.
summertime for the light. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So you're very good. So Spania, tell us about your journey to find your spirituality and connect.
When someone asks me that, like I kind of, my mind goes to like beginning of time, even before I was born. My dad is from North Korea. My mom's from South Korea,
Mm-hmm.
and they met in South Korea, of course. And this was before war broke out in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like I'm like an outcome of all the pain that Korea went through, what North Korea went through and South Korea went through. And, you know, from the pain and trauma, you know, we find sense of resilience, and
Mm-hmm.
that through resilience we just become stronger.
Yeah.
Um, I think because of those pain, my parents really was immersed in Buddhism,
Mm-hmm.
and they both were trying to be Buddhist monks many times. But I feel like, but they haven't because they got married, had
Yeah.
me, two other kids, my younger brothers. I feel like whatever that the desire, the urgency they ha- they they had, that wanted to find that meaning of life, why we have to go through the things that we went through, all of those, and trying to find answers. That 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 passion for finding answers in life, I think got instilled in me, and when I was born, and I just had a natural um, curiosity
Mm-hmm.
and a natural awareness of things. And and then I went through, and also my brothers went through a lot of painful stuff as children, as kids. And I believe because of that reason, I had a depression. I suffer from depression from early on.
Okay. So when you say you went through a lot of painful things, um, is it too presumptuous of me to ask what did you go through and when did your depression kick in? Because I know a lot of people that I've interviewed, it's the same thing from sometimes 2 and 3 years old. When was it for you?
I didn't even know what depression was. I didn't even know what that is. I don't even know how to define it. I just remember feeling it just feels like every day was the end of the world for me. Like just feeling really down. Um, I don't want to come talk about too much of
No,
detail, but
it's
things
okay.
went as a child. I don't like a violent, violence, and also some of them is a sexual trauma and all of this as a kid.
At what
And
age?
um, it was before 10 years old,
Okay.
and then also of course whatever my parents were going through, and I actually uh, when felt the pain, and I wanted to be buffer for my younger brothers and trying to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't know I was getting into all these stories today, but this makes me who made me who I am.
Yeah.
Um, but feeling like everything's gonna be bad, feeling like things are gonna be horrible, and the world's gonna end, and I don't want to be here. The sense of not want to be here physically,
Yes.
I didn't know that whole thing was a depression.
Yeah.
I felt that very at a young age, but as hard as it was taking care of my brothers,
Mm.
that sense of responsibility kept me going.
Yes. Yeah.
Because of my younger brothers, I needed to take care of them, and I worry about them. Actually,
Yeah.
I still worry about them. You know, they're
Big
all
sister.
they're all old. I don't have to worry about them, but I feel um like a second mother to them still.
Yeah.
So they kind of continue on my college years, and by my graduate school is everything kind of I don't know, exploded.
Mm.
I start to have a lot of physical symptoms, and I had a lot of gastrointestinal issues.
Can I stop you there? You say because in the education system in America is different from everywhere, and including London. So when you say from graduate school, what age were you?
So I was late 20,
Okay.
early 30.
Mhm.
So I was born and grew up in Korea until
Yeah.
the age of 14, then moved to America.
Okay.
And yeah, even then, I remember this like I have a particular moment watching a comedy show on TV, and I found it to be quite funny, and then laughed. I didn't laugh, I actually chuckled like this, but it felt so foreign to me because I never laugh, I never smile, I never even know what it means to be joyful, but feeling just like a split second of just like shock
Yes.
felt so weird because I
And
haven't done that.
what age was this?
This was when I was in college,
At, at what age?
19,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Oh
it
my
felt
gosh.
so foreign to me.
Hmm.
And that was a realization for me because I was studying psychology at the time, and I just sat back and feeling like this is weird. What was that all about? And just by studying psychology and human behavior, so on. And I started to think that something's off with me. And for me to feel weird about just
Trying
having
to
a
laugh.
right, and feel so foreign about it.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I really haven't done this in my life.
You've never laughed. You've never had giggled or anything like that before.
No,
What we would call giggling,
no.
or laughed. Oh my gosh. And so you left Korea when you were about 14, came to America. So at 19, you had saw this program on TV, and it was only at that age you had this weird sensation. but a sensation that made you feel good, I suppose.
Yes, it felt good. But feeling good and laughing feels so weird and strange and foreign.
Mm.
If you've do that all the time, it's just
Yeah.
part of who you are, part of your life. But if you haven't done it, just it was kind of novel experience. But at the same time, studying, being a psychology
Yeah.
student, and kind of helped me to kind of, I don't know, kind of research on like what's going on with me. And I had a glimpse of understanding that perhaps I have a depression, but I didn't want to admit to myself.
Mhm.
And then at college ended, and then I worked a little while, and then I went to grad school and study Oriental medicine.
Mm.
And that's when, like I say, my body started to kind of fall apart.
Oh.
I had a lot of gastrointestinal issues. I had IBE, IBS, yes, and then a little bit of Crohn's disease.
IBS, irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. My body just could not hold anything and could not process
Mm.
nutrient.
Mm.
So I lost a lot of weight, and I just couldn't get enough nutrient in my body. Um, and at the same time, my depression got much worse too.
Oh. Mm.
I see it as my depression caused those symptoms.
Mm.
And I had to find answers. And many people suggest that I should see a psychiatrist to also get medication.
Mm.
But I wanted to find answer for myself. And since my parents were deep Buddhist, I had a little bit of knowledge on meditation.
Mhm.
So I decided to do meditation on my own. So every day I would do meditation 30 minutes or more in my room. And I started to have different experiences, more so in my physical level. I started to feel, um, I would say, energy within my body.
Okay.
And that was the beginning of my healing journey. And I had this like pivotal moment. I cannot, I have to describe this very sensitively. I understood what was going on in my body. I just knew, and it was all about how I feel, and it was based on my emotion.
Yeah.
And I had an image of, when you go to restaurants, some especially cafe, they have menu by the cashier, like
Yeah.
above the, and you look at the menu,
Mhm.
and you tell what you want, and then you
Yeah.
order
Yes.
to the waitress or waiter,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yes.
the cashier.
Yeah.
I had that image of that, and on the board was all different emotions
They were your emotions?
or my emotions,
Okay.
and realized I keep choosing the same emotion because that's what I'm used to, that's what I'm
Yeah.
familiar with, and it was painful, but that's all I knew. So I keep
Mm.
choosing that emotion and over, and then I realized there's a whole array of different emotions that I can choose from. And I
Mhm.
had a choice. And I realized I actually can choose different things and different feeling and different emotion.
Yes.
And I, that was such a revelation for me that I can choose. I can choose to be happy. And
Gosh.
it was still a process and still a practice. I had to really work on it because you forget, because
Yeah.
you used to just putting your hand on the stove. You just keep doing that. That's how I felt like.
And probably at this stage, you didn't, how you were living, you just thought it was normal and you didn't know what happiness was.
No,
So,
no,
therefore, if you didn't know what happiness was, you can't choose it. You that's why you kept on choosing what you knew, how you were living. And so that, through your meditation, what came about was the universe was showing you there are so many different types. Choose something else. It's your choice. It's wonderful.
Definitely, definitely. I called
And
it
did
as a
you start to choose? And did you start to choose other things?
just having a realization that there are other things that's out there, that's within me, that I can choose. That itself was a big revelation. That was a kind of turning point for me.
The power is in you to do what you want.
Right. I mean, in many way, I guess we hear about this, and someone also did tell us, and I'm sure I've heard it.
Yeah.
And maybe it was the timing too that I
Yes.
really understood at
Yeah.
that time. Yeah.
And this was this at the time you were in graduate school?
Hmm.
And so, therefore, you now stepped into a new reality. And what happened when you started to choose different things?
Mm. So that graduate school, I was just studying Oriental medicine and acupuncture. Um, m- I'm sure it happened gradually in many levels, but also there's a one moment of also, sort of awakening too, is that I remember feeling a certain way, and I felt my body just responding to that. When I decide to choose the lighter emotion, I can feel my body becoming lighter.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
And that's
And
when I started to heal.
yes, and then you started to heal. And what happened from that moment on?
I remember one of the doctors told me that this is something that I have to deal with all my life, and you have to treat this. And almost he said that there's no cure for this, basically.
Oh,
Even
okay.
if even if you get better in some level, you still have to deal with this rest of your life.
Yeah.
And um so from that point on, I think it took about 6 or 7 months. My body started just slowly getting better, and I keep doing meditation. And at the same time, I did a lot of qigong and different martial arts. So I think there's two two things: meditation and moving your body. It's very, very
Yeah.
important. Kind of accelerates the circulation of qi within the body. And eventually, all my symptoms went away.
So I think when you just said that two things, the meditation and moving the body, which will be the qigong,
Mm-hmm.
that is qigong. I know works on the energy level and moving the energy around,
Mm-hmm.
and that's from your foot to your head to all over, bringing in around you. It almost seems as though everything had been solidified and stiffened within you, and you now had to break it up and move it and allow the energy to start to flow through
Mm-hmm.
you and within you and around you.
Yes. Yes. I think movement is so crucial, very
Mm,
important in our lives.
mm,
And oftentimes people ask me what they should do. I said, just start with whatever you like to do as far as movement. It could be just walking,
mhm.
dancing,
Yeah,
and it could be swimming, or it could be hiking. It does not matter. Start somewhere and find joy in movement.
yeah,
And combining with that regular meditation is the key to awakening to who we truly are.
mhm,
Because ultimately, what we are looking for is already within us, as you know.
Yes.
Yes. Then we have to use what we have, which is our body. This is
Yes.
something that we're born with. It's gonna be take with us everywhere that we go. Then
Mhm.
use it. And one of the important part is movement. Through movement, you will feel. It could be just sensation in the body. It could be aches in the body. Whatever that is, everything that our bodies telling us, it's answer to something that we are looking for.
Yes. Our body speaks to us and we need to listen to it, and it will tell us what needs to be done and where. We just need to listen.
Mhm.
So, Banya, you've been through all this, and how did you went to the Oriental School for Oriental Medicine here? Well, I say here in America, and that brought you another some other knowledge with herbs and different things.
Yes.
And how from that moment of movement and realization and working, and you said within about 6 months you started to feel movement, you started to feel things shifting, and from that I take it, was that when you started to look towards your herbs and looking at other things to do?
Yes. By the way, my mom's an acupuncturist. So
Okay.
I have many healers within my family. So I was like an apprentice to her since when I was 7 years old. First time I did acupuncture was on her when I was
Okay.
7. So I had like a sort of a lot of knowledge, like from family background and
Yeah.
experience. And when I start practicing acupuncture, I there is a there is a information and theory in Oriental medicine acupuncture that how emotion is connected to each organ and
Yeah.
how the organ's meridian gets manifest throughout the body. But no one could really clearly explain to me how is the emotion affecting our organs and our
Mhm.
our bodies, and what's the actual connection, how does that work, and what's the mechanism behind it. No one could really fully explain that to me. So when I started practicing as an acupuncturist,
Mhm.
I actually share this information with my clients. If someone comes to me with back pain, the back line is connected to urinary bladder and kidneys, and their emotion is fear.
Mm.
So this is why when we have a lot of fear, we say we have a chill going down my spine. The reason is that literally that there's a blockages happened within the meridians and back of your body.
Okay. And that
So
also affects the kidneys as well, you say?
yes, yes, kidneys
Okay.
and bladder. This is
Yeah.
why when you're under a lot of fear, you go to you urinate often. You have
Yeah.
to pee a lot, and it
Yeah.
affects the area.
Yeah.
And then
No.
you you'll have a lot of fear. Eventually, can create some disorders in the kidneys and bladder.
Okay. So because you have this knowledge and it's within the family, because your mother was an acupuncturist and you've got it from a small child, and now you've gone on to actually study it even further, along with as you say, multi-generational and intuitive. And how did all that come into play?
So my mom she was a teacher, acupuncturist, and I guess you could call it psychic, but she's very intuitive.
Mhm.
She also did reading with, without her planning because people kept asking her questions. So
Yeah.
she did some reading as well. And so all this, and my mom always told me like there is always a connection between mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Without addressing that, you're not really in the complete healing on the physical body. And
Mm.
I've been hearing that since I was young, and I never really understood what they mean. When I actually start practicing my medicine, that I understood what that means. You know, you might, if you just work on looking at just the physical body, you're just like looking at this much. If you looking at body, mind, and soul, you open it up and you actually doing the whole, working the whole body,
Yes, the whole gamut of it. Yes, on the different levels,
different
because
level.
because the physical is affected by the spiritual.
Yes,
It's actually when there's an imbalance on the spiritual level, on which is the energy field, that is when it manifests in the physical.
absolutely.
So, and we tend to look at the physical as the be all and end all, and it's not. It's the last thing. It's where things manifest. But
Yes,
actually, you have to go to the energy and the spiritual side where it started.
yes. The key is the body holds all that information.
That's right. Yes.
Since we are very focused on the physical part, we can start and we should start from the physical
Mhm.
level, which is our
Mhm.
bodies.
Yeah.
And through our bodies, we can tap into the energy, we can tap into the soul, we can tap into the memory of who we really are on
Right.
an energetical level.
Yeah.
Well, from then on, where kind of develop um, kind of education system, and then eventually create a chi mastery system,
Mhm.
which is a energy coaching program guiding people to really go into the body to understand where the blockages are. Or one of my last person that I work with, she said that you are actually doing like spiritual acupuncture, actually doing acupuncture without needles, because
Mhm.
we are actually working on through the Zoom.
Yes.
In many ways, it is true.
Yeah.
Doing acupuncture without needles.
That's right. Because
Yes,
you're doing it spiritually, and that is energy, because energy flows all around. So when you use your energy to send that, and this is what people need to realize, is that as much as I'm here in London, if I've come to you to do something for me, you can use the energy where you are. It affects me here, and this is what people don't understand. What goes on in the world, in our side, we can affect the other side. That is how powerful we are, and we just
yes,
need to understand that and
yes,
know that we have an effect on everything around us, whether it's our immediate space or on the other side of the world. And can you imagine if we all got together, and we don't have to be in the same room, just connect and at the same time, and then call and use that energy, we can then affect things somewhere else. And this is why I said the world is us, to command, I suppose, to do as we wish. And if we see things around us that are not nice, it's down to us, because we've created it. May not us individually, but collectively, or collectively somewhere else. And the energies for us to use in a wise way.
absolutely. At the end of the day, what I get to remind myself is that how connected we are, and we are truly one.
Yes.
Yes,
So, and we are truly one. We're coming from source. We're connected to source. We are part of source, and source is everything.
right. The biggest illusion we have in the world is a separation.
Thank you, because we're
That
not.
we think that we are separate from one another.
We're not.
No, this is the distance healing works. This is the reason why when you think of somebody that they call you,
Mhm.
this is why, when I think of somebody, when they think of me, we also know, feel that they are
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yes.
Energetically, there's a little fiber of connection connecting all of us.
Yeah. I and you're saying that, and I know you're feeling it, and I know I feel it. There's times you can get up in the morning, or you're doing something during the day, and you're fine, and all of a sudden your energy changes, and you know it's not you, and then you think, this is not me. Who am I picking up? What's going on? And it's because there's something happening somewhere. And then I have to start going around who I know, what is happening, until it clicks. Oh, it's that person. Something's happening. And maybe they need my help, or they need me to just send love or something. But you feel it. You
Yeah.
feel it.
If enough of us just realize this, I think work will be a very different place.
Much different. I believe the time is here now where and I'm going to do this on it's coming to me to do all the people that I've interviewed and made connections with. We need to get together probably at a certain time, just to meditate, or just to come together and send out that energy
Mm-hmm.
wherever it's needed. And I'm actually thinking of doing something like that, because we do need those of us, because we're empaths, we're light workers. As much as we're doing in our own field, I think there are times when we all need to come together to do one particular thing, maybe pray for situation or whatever, but we need to be doing that on a regular basis. And yeah, I, I will
And
be, and I'll be calling on you.
please do. And also individually too.
Yes, yeah,
And oftentimes, I mean, I also fall into like little or me, you know,
mm,
what kind of power would I have?
yeah,
But I had to remind myself that I can do that. So in my own meditation, that I actually literally send out healing energy to all direction, to
yes,
all every corner of the
yeah,
universe.
yeah.
So each person can do it on our own as well.
We can do it on our own. We can do that on a daily basis, but I think we sometimes forget ourselves, and we need to come together collectively with all our names, and just help each other just to clean as well and clear, so that then we can go out. We need to remember us, because we become depleted as well. And as
Mm.
you said, sometimes you feel like, little old me, I'm all alone. And sometimes you need just that community, just to join, to talk, to chat, to maybe offload as well, little things, because you can't talk to everybody about this. And what is happening now, even with my podcast and your work, um, uh, you know, it's not everybody that understands it. So sometimes you'll mention it to people, they'll think, oh no, and you tend to keep things. Even me as a spiritualist coach, it took me a long time for me to say I'm a spiritualist coach, because you couldn't say that to people like 15, 20 years ago. I mean, they look at you kind of funny. Um, but I know in Korea and China, you have these acupuncture and these different things which you do. But here in the West, it's not so much, and probably Europe, although we have our herbs and things, but to actually come out and do and be intuitive, as we say now, and give readings, they were there, but it was very much kept quiet. It
Mhm.
wasn't brought out. But now we are talking about it, because it's in all of us. It's not just this one's gifted. This one might be gifted to do this and gifted to do that, but the energy is within all of us. And we all now need to recognize that. And
Mhm.
and what is happening now is that we're there to say to people, tap into it, just as you did your meditation, because your parents was Buddhist, which was energy. Because as a Buddhist, you chant, it's energy, and
Mhm.
I chant. I'm an Nichiren Buddhists, and I've
Mhm.
been doing that for 20 years, and you can feel that vibration, that energy within. but you don't restrict yourself to one thing. You know, there's so many different tools out there to use on that energy level, because different things could work for different people because of our karma.
Mhm.
So Banya, you've now gone and you've started to work on yourself and your emotions, and you know, this has taken you many years to do. Now that you are a multi generative and intuitive, and you're an acupuncturist and you're a coach, now what coaching do you do?
It's a based on energy or body awareness and somatic work and meditation.
Okay.
Through what I found out working as an acupuncturist, um, is that our body has almost like a zip code of each emotion. Whatever the predominant emotion that you might have, or predominant emotion based on the thoughts. For example, I am I am not good enough, or I'm if that is a predominant thoughts, and there's emotion that's relating to that. And whatever that emotion that might be, it actually has a location within our body.
Yeah.
At the same time, we also have a very nourishing and loving energy within our body, and it has a location as well.
Yes. Okay.
And I let them communicate. And oftentimes, those negative thoughts and emotions started very early on in our lives.
Mhm.
And it's almost like doing inner child work, but
Mhm.
it's actually definitely more energetic work than anything else.
Okay.
And then that higher consciousness, the energetic, the loving parts of the energy within the body can be able to communicate and work on that negative emotion within the body. It's literally blockages within the body.
Yes.
That blockages cause lot of cause a havoc within the body. They could cause
Yes.
pain, eventually turn into something much more serious, and sometimes serious disease.
Yes.
So what acupuncture, physical acupuncture does is go into some of the specific area to open that up, unblock it, so the pain goes away, or the disease goes away. But
Mhm.
I feel like working on an energetical level can be more effective at times,
Mhm.
because you are doing the work.
Yeah.
I'm just guiding, and each person is doing the work on their own because they know exactly what's going on within the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
by the way, thank you for asking all the amazing questions. I don't think I got to really share my story, even my childhood story. No one really asked me in a way that I feel comfortable to share. So thank you.
No, I didn't want to go too deep because I know it's a personal thing, but I know it is a prerequisite to where we are today. And it's all those things that go on. So and what we don't understand, what we don't realize, so many of us are suffering from that. And let me tell you, Banya, I've interviewed quite a few people, and it's Jenny the same. It started in childhood. There's some abuse, physically, sexually, from a young age. And it's there if you watch my podcast, they talk about it, and it's there. One of them I had, she was 4, and she was protecting her siblings, and she was the middle one. There's those above and those, and she was trying to balance her parents, and to try and keep them together, to keep them calm, so they wouldn't have this imbalance, you know. And she said by the time she was 6 years old, she wanted to commit suicide. So this is why I like ask people, you don't have to go too deep, but there's so much of it around, and we need to hear this to realize we're not alone. it's going on, but there's a way out, and to see how they used it to come out. So
Mhm.
thank you so much. Now, Banya, as you say, how can people contact you if they, because you do, as you say, distant acupuncture, spiritual acupuncture, and do all this, and how can people contact you if they need your help, and if they feel after listening to this, because we're all different, we're all light workers, somebody will connect with you who may not want to connect with me, will connect with somebody, and to realize we're out there. So how can people contact you?
They can go to my website. It's my name, banyalim.com.
Mhm.
And anybody who come through this podcast, I can offer free clarity sessions.
Oh, wonderful. Lovely. So everybody listening, you've heard this podcast. If you want to connect with Banya through this podcast, if you mention it, she will give you a free connection. So there you are. So I hope you've all got nuggets of here to realize that we're all going through so much in this world, and everything's in us. We come into this world, we know what we're coming to, but there are tools that we can overcome, and the energies within us, and there are those of us around, myself, Banya, so many of us are here to help. So thank you for joining us. Banya, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm going to be connecting with you. As I said, I'm going to start getting groups together of light workers so that we can work together, helping one another to unblock as well. And sometimes what I'm finding, sometimes we need to talk to
Yes,
like-minded. It's not
yes.
everybody we can do. And also then spend time where we can give that energy out. So thank you once again. And for everybody, thank you for joining me on this podcast today. I hope you've got wonderful nuggets through there here. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you, Zenzi.